Hey guys, welcome to Jurassic Room, and today we're going to try out the morbid curiosity that is Dinosaurs Attack, a Topps card series from back in like the 80s or whatever, from the makers of Mars Attacks. These. Now back in the day, way back in the day, I bought a pack of Dinosaur Attack, a booster pack. Okay, along with Jaws 3D. Thinking, oh cool, dinosaurs. Only to behold the absolute carnage that would ensue in, I think, 9 cards come with a pack. Very grotesque and horrifying scenarios. Today, I bought, a few weeks ago, the whole 55 set deck, as well as the 9 sticker cards, which have little facts on them. There's the Tyrannosaurus. Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and check this out. We're gonna look at all these, each and every one of them. So we got number 1 here. Topps presents Dinosaurs Attack. 55 cards, 11 stickers. Okay. And here is the back of card number 1. Forward, 100 million years into the future, they came, swept through time by an accident of science. Can the human race survive, or will these towering monarchs from the dawn of creation once again inherit the earth, this time for all time? The ultimate nightmare is now a reality. Dinosaurs Attack. And we got a bunch. We got somehow a dinosaur has a fist, ladies screaming, dinosaurs attacking tanks, a carnage ensuing. So, that one. Yeah, so that's card 1. Okay, card 1 done. Yeah. Card 2, Experiment in Space. Extra New York Inquirer Extra, Experiment in Space, time scanner set for demonstration. New York City, 30 United Nations delegates on their way up to the space station Prometheus this morning for a demonstration of Time Scan, the revolutionary process developed by Dr. Elias Thorne. The Time Scan projector discharges a modified particle beam which harmlessly bathes the Earth's surface and unfreezes moments in time, sending back videos of the past to the space station lab. On a wall of shimmering light which resembles an enormous movie screen, Dr. Thorne and his associates can literally scan any era of the Earth's past they choose. First on their agenda, an exploration of the Mesozoic age to understand why the mighty dinosaurs became extinct 65 million years ago. And that's that. That's that one. Kind of looks like the Watchtower from Justice League. Time Scanner Disaster. Washington Globe Extra. I should actually show y'all the back of these as well, so y'all can just read them. There you go. Just pause. I'm gonna try and be quick with this because there's 55 of them, and I've already spent 3 minutes. Time Scanner Disaster. Sinister events. Medieval scientists. Space Station Prometheus rapidly turned to an unexpected tragedy as a series of devastating explosions rocked central operations, killing 3 security officers. A time scan demonstration began as expected, and for a while some tantalizing images of a Devonian swamp materialized through the static. Then suddenly, just before the explosions, a pair of sinister reptilian eyes flashed on the screen. At a loss for explanations, Dr. Thorne tried to minimize the crisis by telling everyone that the installation was secure, but more than a few guests voiced concern about the safety of their planet. Now that time scan has proven an unstable and potentially dangerous process. So, the scanner disaster. There's the back for you to read. Number 4. The past comes alive. What the crap is that thing? Anyway. The New York Chronicle. The past comes alive. Verrazano Bridge destroyed by Behemoth. I got a sore on my tongue too. This is a bad day to choose to do this. Bay Bridge, Brooklyn. At the height of the rush hour, a gargantuan prehistoric creature materialized out of thin air and demolished the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, killing thousands of frenzied commuters. The cars of these hapless victims became steel coffins as they plunged into the icy waters below, several striking a ferry boat that was cruising in the area. The beast and Ultrasaurus ripped apart suspension wires and toppled the enormous concrete towers that were a pride of Brooklyn. Then it disappeared beneath the sea. Incredibly, reports of... Can y'all quit knocking stuff over? Incredibly, reports of similar sightings have been flooding newsrooms across the world. Can the sudden crisis have something to do with the time scan malfunction reported last night? And there it is. That's an Ultrasaurus. Yeah, remember the Ultrasaur Lagoon in the original Jurassic Park ride? Yeah, well, prepare. Those things could have killed you. Alright, next. Homeroom horror. Oh my dear lord! Oh! That's... Oh! At least they were diverse with how many kids died. You got 2 white kids and a brown kid and a kid that might be Hispanic, but he's covered in blood. Okay, homeroom horror. Students and substitute teacher eaten alive. Denver, Colorado. A public school classroom was invaded early this morning when an enraged allosaurus smashed his head into the building, seeking victims at random. Several students were chewed beyond recognition, and the substitute teacher, Miss Gazarian, was swallowed whole, but only after she put up a valiant struggle for children's lives, using her pointer as a weapon. Ironically, the massacre took place during a natural history lesson where the extinction of dinosaurs was the topic for tonight's homework. Surviving students have been excused from this assignment despite growing casualties. The president has urged the nation to remain calm and not make a bad situation worse. Dear Lord, God bless or God help your souls of Topps Comics. Having a problem. There we go. Facing the way. We got the back. You can read that. Okay. Generally horrifying. There are only how many cards in, and I have to break this up into 2 parts. No, it'll be a long video. Police precinct assault. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's brutal. Police precinct assaulted, law enforcers bashed by raging beasts. Also, this is from the Chicago Courier. The homeroom horror one is from the Denver Globe. Sorry, I missed that. Chicago, Illinois. The marauding dinosaurs are everywhere. No place in the city is safe, not even the headquarters of our top law enforcers. At 11:42 this morning, a herd of stegosauri charging to Precinct 69, snapping off and devouring the limbs of startled police. Police officers. One swipe of a giant spiked tail tore a patrolman's face to shreds, sending an eyeball flying and leaving his skull half exposed. Howling like a crazed animal in torment, he wandered about for a few moments before one of the creatures trampled him to death. The walls of the station house were literally dripping with human organs and splattered blood, and what was once a proud symbol of power and security became a showroom of horror. They're just defending their baby. I had to take off my hat for a second because I just took a shower. Next, DC Holocaust. Okay, that one's not terribly bad. I mean, I assume the First Lady getting off. The Washington Examiner extra. DC Holocaust. First family devoured, casualties mount. Okay, I was right. It was the First Lady. Kind of looks like Nancy Reagan in a way. Washington, D.C. A nation watching horror as the president, while boarding his helicopter and shouting to reporters on the White House lawn, was savagely slain by a trio of hungry pteranodons. The First Lady and 2 Secret Servicemen were also eaten alive as hundreds of concerned citizens watched on live TV. Meantime, hastily conducted poll reveals that 78% of the nation now believes that the dinosaur attacks are actually happening, up 43% in just the first 30 minutes. At first, we figured this was some kind of Eastern liberal hoax, laughed Senator Alphonse Springer. I have to look up and see if that's an actual person. Republican of Texas, but the gruesome fate of the President and the First Lady has changed Willie grins to sullen, ashen frowns. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is some sick shite. Oh, that's horrible. Oh, there's a cat too. Jeez, a cat and a dog. Crushing a canine. Kendall Park, New Jersey. Barney, the beloved mongrel pet of the Brown family, was stomped to death early this afternoon by an unidentified dinosaur. According to Valerie Brown, the dog's youthful owner, Barney spotted a cat on the corner of Newman and Kingsley and instinctively gave chase. Rounding the corner, he was unprepared for the startling appearance of the huge creature. Barney's gut-wrenching yelp was cut short, as was his life. This latest incident is a symbolic of the fantastic war being waged by the dinosaurs. Not only are they threatening man, but man's best friend as well. Hey, okay, back. What we got here? Oh, that's unfortunate. Wait, nuptial nightmare. Wedding reception at Hall after 2 o'clock. Daffodil Club, Morning Glory Road, Pinewood Landing, Long Lolland. Okay, but that's what it is. Got spiked up by a Triceratops. Number 10. We're 11 minutes in, and we're down to card 10. This is gonna be a long video. Oi. Anyway, Italy under siege. This one's actually pretty cool. Yeah. Il Gazzettino. I don't know what that means. Italy under siege translated edition. The land of Da Vinci and Michelangelo was laid waste by a horde of enormous prehistoric monsters as the worldwide emergency continues. Hundreds watch in disbelief horror as the famed Sistine Chapel was reduced to rubble. The Italian police were helpless as some of the world's most cherished paintings and sculptures were obliterated in Pisa, the famous Leaning Tower. The famous Leaning Tower was toppled under the enormous weight of 2 raging reptiles. Frustrated by the unfolding events, many Italian citizens clenched their fists and shouted angry words skyward, blaming Dr. Thorne and his time-scan invention for the tragedy that has befallen our planet. Trapped in the basement. Oh, geez, that's terrible. I grabbed 2. Okay, so help us. We're trapped in the basement. Air running low. Monsters burrow out of the ground every night to eat us. Well, kind of reminds me of that scene from War of the Worlds, where the aliens come down below and you see them in the basement. Okie doke. Panic in the Stadium. This one's actually pretty cool. Panic in the Stadium. Omaha Sun Sports. New strike looms. Panic in the Stadium. Omaha, Nebraska. Just when the Falcons looked like they were about to snap their 8-game losing streak, the unbelievable happened. Leading 12-1 in the 4th inning, Omaha players fled the field when a ferocious prehistoric reptile or creature suddenly materialized behind second base. Although several players attempted to fend off the beast using their bats and balls as weapons, the game came to an abrupt halt. Casualties appeared to be high, prompting the Falcons skipper to express fears that 4 or 5 players will have to be placed on the disabled list. Rock Concert Carnage. Now, this is one of the cards that I actually originally had. Let's read this real quick. It was crazy, man. Some blanking dinosaur jumps on the stage and starts tearing my hair out. Heavy. Apparently, the plant-eating creatures mistook the hair of these rock performers for the tops of trees they fed upon 100 million years ago. So that's the card itself. That's the back. And that's one of the original cards that I have as well. Let me pack these up a little bit. There you go. What the jeez? Parasaurs can't do that, but these ones can. That's absolutely horrifying. Lunch break. Westlake, California. What began as an innocent field trip became an excursion to the realm of nightmare horror. At approximately 12 o'clock at noon, a bus filled with school children was scuttled by two gigantic dinosaurs, apparently of the species Parasaurolophus. The creatures tore into the crushed vehicle like two selfish children fighting over a box of candy. Screaming kids were lifted high into the air, then stuffed into the eager mouths of these ravenous, bone-headed leviathans. Yeah, apparently in this universe, Parasaurolophus can do this crap. Alright, next. The Colonel Shredded. This one's actually pretty cool, actually. Don't know what those things are, though. Can y'all quit knocking stuff over? U.S. Army official dispatch. It is my grim duty to report the massacre of our forces in Piscataway, New Jersey. Morale here is fading fast. We are in a desperate need of new scientific advisors since the last three were swallowed whole by the enemy. General Frank Manchester has been placed in charge of this operation. He predicts victory, but only after a good deal of bloodshed. With hope and faith, Mitchell Stevens, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army. Next, Heartland Horror. Good grief. That's just dark. Mayville Gazette Extra. Heartland Horror. Livestock humans eaten by dinosaurs. Mayville, Wisconsin, saving the farm took on new meaning this afternoon when a number of Mayville's most respected citizens reported random attacks by dinosaurs. Clayton Heller was rushed to the hospital when an ankylosaurus smacked him in the chest with its heavy clubbed tail. Neighbor Jed Johnson, whose hog Francis won first prize yesterday at the Dodge County Fair, was horrified to find the animal in a mostly devoured state. All that remained was Francis's head, the ribbons still in place, followed by a thoroughly stripped skeleton. Jed, apparently under the influence of corn liquor, blamed the U.S. president for his troubles, unaware that the president himself was recently devoured by dinosaurs. I read them so you don't have to. Blue Water Savage Death. Okay, so this is basically Jaws and then, was it Gorgo? That old dinosaur monster movie. Blue Water Savage Death. Luxury liner sunk by aquatic reptile. Atlantic Ocean. Not since the loss of the Titanic has a maritime disaster so startled the world. At 2:19 EST, the Meredith Queen was capsized by an enormous amphibious dinosaur. According to the lone survivor, cruise director Sheila Steinberg, the monster toyed with the ship for a few minutes, the way a child might play with a plastic boat in the bathtub. Then it sunk its massive jaws into the bow, instantly flooding all passenger decks. After the battered liner disappeared beneath the rushing waves, several lifeboats were swallowed in single gulps by the relentlessly pursuing reptile. Remaining victims swam for their lives, only to meet savage deaths in the shark-infested water of the Atlantic. Tourist Trap. Huh. That one, it's actually kind of funny, that one. Tourist trap, Mount Rapid City Herald. That previous one was from the Boston Examiner. Yeah, okay, the Boston Examiner was the last one. This one is the Rapid City Herald Extra. I am just drooling like crazy for some reason. Tourist trap, Mount Rushmore Nest of Horror. Rapid City, South Dakota, above the impassioned stone faces of America's greatest presidents is a horror beyond belief. Early this morning, a flock of pteranodons created an enormous nest made up of trees, shrubs, and shredded wood from nearby cabins as the giant eggs of their offspring hatched. The pteranodons swept out of the sky and hunted for suitable food. Innocent tourists from all over the world visiting one of our nation's most popular landmarks were whisked away like frenzied field mice and flown up to the top of the mountain. There, the terrified victims were fed to the hatchlings. A plan to blow up the site was considered by Congress, but ultimately rejected as an extreme response to what could be a temporary problem. We're already 20 minutes into this video. Madness in the streets. The New York Chronicle again. Madness in the streets. City goes bonkers as attacks continue. New York, New York. The streets of New York have always been perilous, but in the past 16 hours, even the muggers and drug dealers have been seeking police protection. Madness reigns in the Big Apple. Chortled a certain Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist. And what I want to know is, what is the mayor doing about it? Is he consulting scientists at the nearby Natural History Museum? No. Is he using his unfortunate crisis to unite the city's polarized ethnic groups? Of course he isn't. I'll tell you what the mayor is doing. This individual was helped away by two gentlemen wearing long white coats, proving beyond a doubt that madness reigns not only in the streets of Manhattan, but in certain newspaper city rooms as well. Okay. White coat. I don't know what that means. I'm just missing the joke on that one. Anyway, continuing on, bashing the BMT. Okay, that one's basically just Godzilla. Not too bad. Bashing the BMT, the Bay Bridge News Extra. Neighborhood folk in a mad frenzy. Benhurst, Brooklyn. All aboard, yelled the conductor, and indeed the passenger cars were packed. It was the shank of the evening when Brooklyn's oldest elevated subway train, the B or West End, chugged out of the station house at Stillwell Avenue to begin its run to the heart of Manhattan. By the time the train reached Bay Parkway, a mere 4 stops from its point of origin, it had been scuttled by an enormous Allosaur. Streetcars were lifted miles into the air, chewed into shapeless scrap metal, then dropped to the sidewalk below where unsuspecting neighborhood folk were shopping for bargains. This curiosity sated, the beast swung about and eventually rumbled off in the direction of Canarsie. It's a big Allosaur. Fast food frenzy. It's basically McDonald's. Staten Island Register. Fast food frenzy. Lunch breakers face sudden deaths. Staten Island, in New York. Sorry, I'm at a loss for a moment. Excuse me. Had to get something to drink really quick. Fast food frenzy. Lunch breakers face sudden death. Staten Island, New York. You've earned a smile today is the famous slogan associated with America's largest fast food chain, Burger Barn. But new patrons were smiling at half past 12 this afternoon when a raging brontosaurus literally brought the townhouse down. Kids ran amok, scrambling for their lives as a gigantic beam crashed in the main counter and the roof caved in. Especially tragic was the slaughter of Leonard DeMille, hired last week to play Randy McDougal, the company's clown mascot, in a special appearance honoring the 25th anniversary of Burger Barn's monopoly of the fast food industry. Leonard is survived by his wife, 2 children, and an exceptionally cute Cocker Spaniel named Duffy. Sorry. Alright. The Behemoth Fries. In other news, a gigantic iguanodon attacked the Steinhauer power plant and was literally roasted alive by high-tension wires. Officials expect the plant to be working at full capacity by tomorrow morning, barring any additional dinosaur trouble. In a moment, the weather. Next, we have the Perfect Wave. This is actually pretty cool. The Perfect Wave. Pacific Coast Highway. Hey man, surf's up, cried Rick Moondoggy. Dylan. As dozens of happy tan and tawny surfers rush into the clear blue waters of Malibu in search of humanity's most cherished objective. That ever-loving perfect wave. For Rick, perfection finally arrived in the form of a ferocious Elasmosaurus, which inadvertently carried the 22-year-old athlete to new heights of aquatic accomplishment. When it was all over, a number of jealous rivals protested the feat. Natch. But Cliff DeLorean, that grand old man of the sea and surf, and our local DJ had nothing but praise for Rick at his funeral service in Beverly Hills, Cowabunga. London in Flames. That one's pretty awesome. The Daily Telegraph Extra. London in Flames. Chaos ensues as beasts run wild. The London skies glowed red at midnight as prehistoric beasts roamed Parliament Square, causing a variety of problems. Just under the shadow of Big Ben, an apartment building was engulfed in flames. Tenants trapped by smoke and fire sought safety by leaping from upper floor windows. By chance, several were impaled on the spikes of a passing polacanthus. Survivors rushed to nearby Westminster Abbey to partake in a hastily contrived emergency mass. Indeed, not since the darkest days of World War II have Londoners had to cope with a calamity of such devastating proportion. That's a polacanthus, apparently. Next, Day of the Duckbill. Dang. Oh, it's one of those little, like, TV cards. Mr. Harley, I understand you witnessed the tragic accident and death... Sorry. Mr. Harley, I understand you witnessed the tragic accidental death of duck hunter Fred Stanton. Tell us, in your own words, what happened. Well, we was out fishing, my son Amos and me. Suddenly we heard a splash and gunshot appears. One feller shot the older feller square in the chest after the dinosaur capsized their rowboat. Yep, it was an accident, but a nasty one, real nasty. Coasting to Calamity. New York Chronicle again. Coasting to Calamity. Joyride leads to untimely death. Coney Island, Brooklyn. By midday, the famed Coney Island amusement park became a favorite spot of the rampaging dinosaurs, who found more than their share of helpless human victims. Rides and other entertainments were ironically transformed to flaming death traps. One such diversion was the popular island roller coaster, a thrilling experience made even more so than an enraged Gorgosaurus. A thrilling experience made even more so when an enraged Gorgosaurus wrenched off part of the structure and opened wide his massive jaws as the packed car thundered down the long metal slope. Frenzied riders found themselves hurling directly into the outsized maw of the waiting beast. Not surprisingly, the dinosaurs and their offspring remained in the amusement park all day before growing weary and retreating at dusk. Soviets versus Dimetrodons. Those Dimetrodons are huge. Vishednik. Soviets versus Dimetrodons. Translated edition. Soviet forces took on their dinosaurian enemies with the display of strength and valor not demonstrated since the invasion of Afghanistan. The puny reptiles had little chance against the superior minds and weaponry of the Russian soldiers. Officials expressed confusion as to why the Western Bloc nations were having such trouble with the meddlesome beasts, which, as everyone knows, were brought into our century by the ineffectual experiments of an American capitalist. The chairman, loved by one and all as a man of truth and kindness, expects these minor dinosaur difficulties to be remedied by nightfall. If not, he plans to punish those responsible he plans to reward those brave fighting men and beginning a new age of condor and economic political freedom for all. So that's a little jab at socialism, communism. Alright, next. Saurian Secrets. That one's actually pretty creepy, kind of Mars Attacks-esque. Prometheus Log. Dr. Elias Thorne, temporal physicist, space station director, reporting. My staff and I have been working feverishly to reverse the cataclysmic time tilt and send the dinosaurs back to their own era. Finally, after 40 sleepless hours, I slumped over my desk and had a curious dream. Advancing ever so calmly out of the shadows was a kind of humanoid dinosaur. Benevolent with an enlarged cranium and an oddly comforting voice, it called itself a saurian. It explained that a significant difference between our species and the dinosaurs is that the humans with our evolved advanced minds understand the difference between right and wrong. Human beings have souls, and through our history, we've attached cosmic significance to the eternal struggle of good versus evil. Interesting, that's apparently Elias Thorne. Yeah, that's actually probably one of my favorite cards. It's actually pretty cool looking. Number 29, Monster in the Museum. This one's pretty neat. Oh, it's the same kind of little Prometheus Log. Continued. Dinosaurs incapable of moral choice were savage predators, the most successful species that ever existed, and they too had some all-powerful presence watching over them. Something as wicked and terrifying as they were. Yes, it was the supreme monstrosity whose eyes flashed on our screen just before that mysterious accident occurred and time slipped. He, the saurian, concluded, doesn't want his children sent back into the past. He wants them to stay to conquer, to inherit the earth anew. That must never happen, I shouted, jumping to my feet. The saurian smiled gently and placed his scaly green talon on my shoulder, and in that instant I knew what had to be done. Oh, so this is like an actual real thing that's happening to him? The saurian? The saurian is like behind all this or something? A kid strikes back. Dang, girl! Dang, girl! A kid strikes back. Carnegie, Brooklyn. At 11:42 this morning, a National Guardsman armed with a rocket launcher was escorting little Melissa Rogers and her infant brother Evan to safety when disaster struck from the skies. A pteranodon swooped down and grabbed the guardsman, hurling him to a gruesome death on the pavement below. 12-year-old Melissa, a fan of war comics, picked up the fallen rocket launcher and prepared for it for use. When a Ceratosaurus turned the corner and began harassing little Evan, Melissa was more than ready for it. In a blinding instant, she blew a hole straight through the incoming beast. Splattered with the dinosaur's blood, Melissa smiled triumphantly, then gave her little brother an enthusiastic thumbs up. It's actually pretty cool. Dang, girl, you scary. Ugh, that was gross. Our forces flattened. Dang. Top secret. Oh, he's getting eaten by rats. That's gruesome. Okay. U.S. Army official dispatch. In 1900 hours, General Frank Manchester was killed in the service of his country and species. Death was apparently caused by the heavy footfall of a theropod dinosaur. Let the record show that despite his untimely demise, General Manchester delivered top-secret battle plans to our corresponding forces in Bayonne, New Jersey. Still hopeful, Mitchell Stevens, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army. Oh, dropped it. So, Manchester's dead. Very dead. Cat Lady's Revenge. Okay, this is another one that I had originally. One of the other cards I have had. It's a pretty good one. Cat Lady's Revenge. Mastic Long Island. Selma Plout is no pushover when rampaging dinosaurs were reported in her area and the neighbors began abandoning their homes. Selma stood firm. I just couldn't take all my cats with me, and I wasn't about to leave all old friends at the mercy of those oversized lizards. She told amused reporters when a giant beast did show up, Selma blasted to death with a shotgun. Apparently this particular creature materialized in unstable condition, and the gunshot sparked a chain reaction which caused it to discharge electrical bolts and eventually self-destruct. No matter, Selma's courage and devotion remain an inspiration to us all. So it appears to be a Spinosaurus is what I would think it would be. Oh, crap. Okay, got it all fixed. Man, the cloud's going. I might have to turn on the lights. That was number 32. Okay, so this is 33, correct. Manhattan Island Swamp. This is actually a pretty cool looking one. Ooh, and gruesome. But cool. New York Inquirer. Whatever. I'm getting tired. My tongue is sore. And we are about halfway through these cards, just about a little over the halfway point. Manhattan Island Swamp. There's no escape from tropical hell. New York, as if New Yorkers didn't have enough trouble avoiding the deadly jaws and stomping feet of dinosaurs. A new horror has been thrust upon us. The vegetation and insect life of a primordial swamp is also regenerating in our time zone, transforming Manhattan Island into a steaming miasma of suffocating death. Secretaries on their lunch break walk back to their offices to find layered sweat mounds where proud metal buildings were once stood. Giant dragonflies, or Sigillaria, so Megan, you're I believe, had a field day shredding the scalps of these poor unfortunates, and seemed especially attracted by the scent of hairspray. In spite of this latest disaster, the mayor expressed optimism since, as he puts it, New Yorkers are born survivors. Number 34, Animal Wars. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, Animal Wars, San Diego, California. It was a truly bizarre spectacle. Ordinary animals of the 21st century, caged by humans for public display, were dramatically liberated by an army of dinosaurs. They tore away the steel bars of their cages, and the animals scampered to apparent freedom. Their joy was short-lived, however, when the dastardly plan of the dinosaurs became clear. Almost immediately, the animals were attacked and ruthlessly devoured by their reptilian benefactors. Zookeeper Abe Morgenstern, faced with the difficult task of maintaining order, was crushed beneath the battling bodies of two ferocious kings, a lion and a tyrannosaur. So a T-Rex versus a lion. You got a gorilla being lifted in the back. That gorilla in the Pteranodon thing might actually be a reference to King Kong. Because King Kong defeated the Pteranodon in the original movie, and in this one, the gorilla gets beat. Okay, here's another one that I have actually from my original set. A Lady in Distress. New York Enquirer. A lady in distress. Liberty statue smashed beyond repair. New York, New York. What was once the icon of hope and freedom became a pile of rubble at about 10:30 this morning when the Statue of Liberty was rudely attacked. An exceptionally large plesiosaur emerged from the ocean and wrapped its serpentine neck around the famed landmark, crushing nearly 200 visitors who were within the structure at that time. The reptile seemed to take sadistic delight in annihilating the statue, perhaps because it resembled a large human with a smug, somewhat challenging expression. The citizens of both America and France are in a state of shock and unprecedented mourning. I think this is also one of the most iconic cards out there. Number 36, we are nearly there. Comics Con Catastrophe. Comics Con Catastrophe. At a New York hotel, an esteemed comic book artist shares his views. Comics are more than just kid stuff. They reflect real life. Suddenly, see card 37, Precinct in Peril. Oh. So there's the front of the card. And here's the back of the card. Number 37, Precinct in Peril. Ooh, dang. Those are Pachycephalosaurus, I believe. Yep, here we go. Radio. In other news, the perfect day turned into a bloody nightmare when a pair of Pachycephalosaurs began feeding on picnickers at Somerville Park. Local police had their hands full fending off the hungry beasts, which proved far more troublesome than the traditional ants Wall Street after these messages. What? Than the traditional ants. Wall Street after these messages. Sorry, it's reading off like a radio, so it kind of throws me off for a second. And the back. Number 38, we can't hold them back. Dadgum. Was this after Jurassic Park? These had to have come out in the 90s. I'm forgetting the date because that's a Dilophosaurus with a frill. Sorry, let's go back because it's another one. Okay. U.S. Army official dispatch. A startling offensive by the dinosaur army has effectively stymmed our counterattack. Operation Plan B is now underway. Gorged on military personnel, the huge creatures have become slovenly, slow-moving targets. Unfortunately, there are few of us left to aim the weapons and annihilate these cold-blooded devils. Wish news could be better, but it isn't. Praying for a miracle. Mitchell Stevens, Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army. Okay. 39, Trilobite Terror. Huh. Kind of creepy. Trilobite Terror, New York, New York. An unidentified corpse was discovered on the corner of Central Park West early this afternoon. The man's face was a grotesque, misshapen nightmare. Eyes were completely gouged away, the sockets encrusted with dry blood. 22 minutes to finish this off. Okay, anyway, sorry. I had to answer that. The sockets encrusted with dry blood. Authorities believe he was a victim of trilobites, flesh-eating worms from the Devonian period. Obviously, there's more than just giant dinosaurs to be concerned about, commented the mayor with a dark chuckle. These little guys are pretty nasty, so keep an eye out and forgive the unfortunate choice of words. I'm waiting for the mayor to get his own. Oh, we are nearly there. We only have that many left. Wrestling Riot. Okay, that one's just kind of funny. I can't believe what I'm witnessing. It's a battle royale that defies all reason. 6 superstar wrestlers versus 1 prehistoric beast. No, make that 7. Crusher Kowalski just jumped into the ring. Doing my best ringleader voice. $41. Now this is probably one of the most iconic ones, and I do have this card. Entombed. And now I did talk about this in the Discord if y'all are watching now. Entombed, and I'll read it first, then you can understand what it's about. It's pretty gruesome. Sierra Mountains, California, of all the wild horrors happening of late, none can compare with the tragic demise of a Harry Plume. Camping in the mountains with friends, Harry left his tent to relieve himself in the nearby woods. Seconds later, blood-curdling screams were heard. His buddies rushed to Harry's aid, only to find the man embedded within a raging tyrannosaur. It seems the monster materialized in the same space as poor Harry, and their atoms became fused. Still alive within this bizarre, unholy abomination, he screamed for help as the enormous reptile stomped aimlessly about the campsite. Finally, Harry was put out of his misery when Sam Masters, his best friend, shot him directly in the chest. And that's what the card looks like. It is pretty gruesome. That's Entombed. And now this one I also have. I also have this card too. Lights, Camera, Carnage, number 42. Something in, I believe that's Japanese. Lights, Camera, Carnage, translated edition. The filming of the latest Godzuka epic was cut short when a colossal tyrannosaur marched through downtown Tokyo, making a shambles of the movie studio. The Beast's 10-ton foot crashed through the soundstage ceiling and completely wiped out the miniature set. Ironically, a perfect replica of the city this monster was in the midst of trashing. Will the sudden appearance of real prehistoric monsters in the world have a negative impact on the Japanese film industry? I don't think so, grins studio executive Tanaka Tezuka. People are always looking for good, clean, escapist entertainment. He may be right. After all, anxiety over the atomic bomb did nothing to hurt the successful run of the original Godzuka back in 1954. So Godzuka, 1954, nuclear fallout. It's a full-blown reference to Godzilla. Even the artwork, you see, this is just right out of a Godzilla poster. Like, that's the original actor and the actress, you can tell. Number 43, Business Lunch. Oh, it's pretty... What is that dinosaur? Ooh. What's it doing? Every continent in the globe has been invaded by the flesh-hungry, blood-drunk dinosaurs. The military reports growing casualties, and an attempt by the Soviet Union to stop the beasts with atomic weapons proved disastrous. Number 43, Meltdown. Ooh, that's gruesome. Much closer to home, the Adler nuclear facility is under attack by... Hey, what was that? Lizards! Giant lizards! They're invading the newsroom! Look out! It's coming right for us! I don't know why that one matches with... Like you'll see in a second. Oy, that dude got straight up turned into Toxie. I don't see how this works with this. Anchorman's Peril. And it's another one of the news ones. Please stand by, please. And that's literally all it is. But nice artwork. Grip of Horror. Prometheus Log. Dr. Elias Thorne, temporal physicist, space station director, reporting. That mysterious encounter with the Saurian seems to inspire the answer to our problem. Helen and I are working desperately to complete the final sequence of mathematical equations, the sequence that will send our reptilian adversaries back into the past, but now suddenly a feeling of intense evil has returned, and I remember the Saurian's warning. I look up the time scan screen and see something forming at its core, those eyes. Before I can trigger the final sequence, a monstrous scaly hand shoots from the time scanner and grabs hold of me. Oh, what the crap? It's literally a devil dinosaur. Literally, the devil is a dinosaur. My enemy, the enemy of every human who ever lived, it's a ghastly sight. Monstrous beyond belief, I feel my blood begin to boil. I feel the pain as my skin blisters and smokes. This is the life force that watches over the dinosaurs. This is what the Saurian called the supreme monstrosity. So the dinosaur is basically in leagues with the devil. Ugh. Number 48, you can't let them win. I can see Helen on the other side of the time scan screen. Helen! Hear me, please. Only you can stop them. Complete the final sequence and send them back. But you'll be killed. I'm dead already. Do it! The supreme monstrosity tightens its grip. I feel my ribs cracking and my flesh burning. Ripped out of time. Ooh, that's something. Helen completes the reversal sequence and presses the red trigger button. All over the world, the prehistoric invaders are ripped out of time, but so suddenly and savagely that they are literally torn to shreds. I see their spectacular destruction on the Prometheus monitors, and I see Helen, my beloved Helen, face stained with tears, knowing full well what she has sacrificed to save the human race. So I guess that's kind of what they're leaning towards, is that this is what killed the dinosaurs. Is that being ripped apart and being pushed back to their time is what actually killed them. Gruesome fate. Oof. Oh, wrong way. The massacre continues. Not all the dinosaurs are ripped apart. Some are yanked out of the 20th century intact. Others are torn inside out, their bones and organs plunged skyward in a whirlpool of blood. Terrified populations watch in awe as the ultimate nightmare draws to a close. (1801, 1825, 1963, 1988). So they're being just sent back in time. Ooh, that's just gruesome, man. Back through the long centuries they are sent. Some are whole, others are twisted lumps of flesh and bone. All are hurling to their point of origin in the Mesozoic age. The ultimate sacrifice. Jeez. Dr. Thorne is not looking well. Time to die. Helen, I'll love you always. So basically, he's stuck in dinosaur hell. Prometheus explodes. Evacuate Prometheus District sequence. 32 seconds. Nuclear furnace overload. Rebuilding our world. And so the human race survives. We picked ourselves out of the rubble of a ravaged world and look toward tomorrow with renewed hope. The Saurian was right. Human beings do have souls. This is our salvation. How ironic. Through time scan, Elias and I hope to learn why the dinosaurs were wiped out of existence 600 million years ago. Well, we finally discovered what annihilated them. We did. End of story. Yes, that's what they were basically pointing to. And there's Helen right there. That's the end of the story for Dinosaur Attack. The rest are right here. This is like the full list of cards. It's the checklist card. And this is like the little synopsis. Dinosaurs Attack synopsis. Orbiting our world is the space laboratory Prometheus, where Dr. Elias Thorne is about to demonstrate his newest and most revolutionary invention, the time scanner, by projecting a modified particle beam to Earth. Thorne hopes to view through an enormous wall of shimmering light an era of Earth's past he chooses. First on the agenda, investigating the prehistoric era and learning why the great dinosaurs became extinct 65 million years ago. When this experiment goes awry, the time scanner becomes a time tilter. All living creatures from the Devonian period to the late Cretaceous are suddenly savagely swept through time into the 20th century. The world trembles as dinosaurs and other prehistoric monsters invade familiar surroundings, setting cities ablaze and devouring millions of hysterical human beings. Meanwhile, Thorne and his associates on Prometheus work feverishly to correct their cataclysmic mistake. They finally succeed, and the sudden yank of this time reversal literally shreds the reptilian invaders into bloodied pulp and bone. Despite unprecedented losses, the mass destruction, our civilization recovers. And that's their checklist card. And the rest are these little stickers here. And I think they got some facts on the back. We had the Allosaurus here. The truth about Allosaurus: length 10 meters, weight about 3,000 kilograms, era late Jurassic 155 to 135 million years ago, meaning of name strange lizard. One of the most terrifying of the carnivorous dinosaurs, Allosaurus was a relentless hunter. The fearsome creature lived in Utah and Wyoming and was the ancestor of an even greater predator, Tyrannosaurus. The forelegs of Allosaurus were relatively small, but each hand had 3 heavy, curled claws resembling meat hooks, which the reptile used for holding and tearing his food. That's the Allosaurus. And that's the back of it. Ankylosaurus. And this is the sticker I actually originally had with my booster pack. The truth about Ankylosaurus: length 5 meters, weight about 2,000 kilograms, era late Cretaceous 85 to 65 million years ago, meaning of name curved lizard. Ankylosaurus, is that what it means? I thought it was something else. The tank-like Ankylosaurus lived in only 2 areas of the world, North America and Asia. This plant-eating reptile had a back covered with overlapping bony plates, protecting him in much the same manner as a shell protects a turtle. At the end of Ankylosaurus' tail was a lumpy club of bone, a dangerous weapon frequently used against aggressive meat-eating dinosaurs of the period. That's the Anky right there. And that's the back. I'm gonna put on my hat because it's almost the end of the video, and I gotta have the dinosaur hat. Dimetrodon. Also, didn't we see an Ankylosaurus eating a literal pig for one of these cards? But anyway, this video's only got 7 minutes left. Dimetrodon. The truth about Dimetrodon: 3 meters, 200 kilograms, early Permian, 225 to 205 million years ago. Meaning of name, double-sized tooth. This early dinosaur possessed an enormous sail of skin supported by spines on its back. Many scientists believe it was a natural air conditioner that regulated the animal's temperature in some way. Flesh-eating Dimetrodon lived in Texas, had a large skull and jaws, and his teeth, 2 separate sets, were as sharp as daggers. Brontosaurus. Truth about Brontosaurus: 20 meters, 330,000 kilograms, late Jurassic, 155 to 135 million years ago, meaning thunder lizard. Far larger than any land animal existing today, there was Brontosaurus, also known as the Apatosaurus. His four tree trunk legs supported an immense blimp-shaped body, and his neck was almost as long as his tail. Brontosaurus, a vegetarian, lived in North America. He is one of the most famous prehistoric animals. Parasaurolophus. Oh, it's eating a baby. Truth about Parasaurolophus: 11 meters, size of head crest as much as 92 centimeters. Cretaceous, 75 million years ago. Parallel crested reptiles, the meaning of the name. Curious looking, Parasaurolophus belonged to the species Hadrosaur. Trachodon is also a member of this group. A gentle plant-eating creature, he lived only in North America. The impressive crest on his head, made up of two hollow tubes, one on top of the other and joined at the far end. The front end of these tubes linked up with the nostrils, similar to a trombone. This crest might have been used to produce a highly distinctive hooting sound. Plesiosaurus. Truth about Plesiosaurus: 5 meters, 1,500 kilograms, early Jurassic, 190 to 170 million years ago. Any meaning of name: near lizard. Plesiosaurus represents a group of sea reptiles that probably moved about clumsily on land like seals. Most of these elegant creatures have very small heads, long flexible necks, short bodies, short tails, and 4 powerful flippers. They ate fish, squid, and other sea life. It's been suggested that the famous Loch Ness Monster in Scotland is a surviving plesiosaur, since the species originally lived in the area. That one's actually pretty cool. Pteranodon. Truth about Pteranodon: 7 meters, 20 kilograms, late Cretaceous, 85 to 65 million years ago. Meaning of name: toothless wing. Although Pteranodon was the largest creature that ever flew, he was very lightly built. This enabled him to glide like a kite while hunting for small animals or fish. Balancing a long pointed beak was an almost equally long bony crest at the back of his head. Pteranodon lived in North America, had no teeth, hence his name, and had a larger brain than most reptiles. Hold on, Figaro, I gotta finish this, buddy. Stegosaurus. Truth about Stegosaurus: 6.5 meters, about 3,000 kilograms, late Jurassic, 155 million years ago. Meaning of name: cover lizard. I'm pretty sure they got some of these names wrong. Plant-eating Stegosaurus is distinguished by 2 long rows of heavy bony plates that reached from the base of his small head almost to the end of his tail. The tip of his tail had pairs of long, sharp spikes sticking up in the air. All in all, another tank-like dinosaur, this one at home in Africa, Europe, India, China, and North America. Trachodon. Only 3 left. Trachodon. 12 meters, number of teeth 2,000, late Cretaceous, meaning a name: rough tooth. Trachodon was also known as the Natosaurus, lived in many parts of the world, from Canada to China. He had a rather broad duck-like beak and no less than 4 rows of grinding teeth. Trachodon was an inoffensive plant-eating reptile who, judging from his webbed feet, spent a good deal of the time in the water. He was the first dinosaur to be discovered in the United States. I got 2 minutes left on this recording. Triceratops. Triceratops, 8 meters, 8,000 kilograms, late Cretaceous, 3-horned face, meaning name. A powerful fighter, the rhinoceros-like Triceratops was the frequent adversary of Tyrannosaurus, and when these two met, the earth must have shook. Triceratops' head was almost 1/3 the length of his body. A frill flared up over his head and shoulders like a curved shield. A bone extending from this shield were long pointed horns above the eyes, and a smaller, stouter horn grew above his nose. Despite this formidable fighting equipment, Triceratops was a plant-eating creature. His fossils have been found in North America. Last card, last sticker. The truth about Tyrannosaurus, 15 meters, 7,000 kilograms, late Cretaceous, Maine meaning Tyrant King. Tyrannosaurus was the largest flesh-eating creature that ever walked the earth. Among the last of the dinosaurs, he lived in western North America and Mongolia. His monstrous head was over 4 feet long, the jaws equipped with fearsome 6-inch teeth. The hind legs of Tyrannosaurus were extremely large and powerful, but his tiny front legs with their 2-fingered hands must have been virtually useless. There it is, the last and final sticker. And that's it, guys. We have reviewed all 55 of the Dinosaur Attacks trading cards, as well as the 11 stickers. Hopefully y'all get some sleep at night, because these are very morbid. I think I'm having trouble thinking of which was the worst one. I'm trying to think. It's kind of difficult to think of which one was the... I'd say the one, this one. This one, Homeroom Horror, the one where the children get gobbled up and eaten. That's pretty terrible. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Hope y'all enjoyed this review. And I've got 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds left. So whatever, subscribe mark, and thanks for watching. And check out the previous.